I think many times Christians of all different traditions interpret what they hear in this gospel reading to mean we're all going to sit in the back of the church. Nobody's come forward. But we don't have that problem here. You all sort of come up anyhow, which is a good thing. I would suggest to you today that our gospel speaks totally against what we are about as a society today. So it's sort of a rough gospel to hear. If you see, in our society today, it's dog eat dog to get to the first place. And it doesn't matter who you trample over to get to that place to be number one. You see it in politics with lies that are told. You see it on talking head shows where announcers have to come back a couple days later and apologize for the lies they've told. You see it in almost every vein of work that's out there. Someone is going to try to get ahead by doing what they have to do to put somebody else down. You see it in the church. Jesus is saying to us today with this parable that we have to be different. We have to recognize the dignity of all people. That there are going to be some among us that may be honored more than we are. But we're not supposed to be putting ourselves out there as the person to be honored. We're not supposed to be trying to take someone else's place at the table. Rather, we take our own place, wherever that happens to be. The dignity of humanity demands that we support work for all, housing for all, food for all. I love those 3 lines. They come to you not from Scripture, but from the movie The Shoes of the Fisherman, in which the main character, Pope Kirill, pledges the wealth of the Roman Church to ensure those 3 things for the dignity of humanity. If you read the writings of Paul VI, who some say Kirill was modeled after, he too talked extensively in his writings and in his public announcements about the dignity of humanity, of the right to work. He writes to us that if you want peace, work for justice. And what is justice in this world? But having an equal share of the work, of the housing, of food. Today, you and I are called upon not to trample over someone else to be first, but to work together to build up the kingdom by bringing in all those diverse groups that are alienated from society for whatever reason that happens to be. Perhaps it's the illegal alien. Perhaps it's the blind. Perhaps it's those infected with HIV/AIDS. Perhaps it's those that are homeless. Perhaps it are those that are out of work. But we're called upon to reach out to them and not to give them a free handout, but to work with them so that they can achieve their place at the table just like the rest of us. This weekend, we celebrate Labor Day. It is a day that the union workers in this country fought long and hard to have established as a holiday for us, to recognize all of those men and women who work hard for their living. We concentrate a lot on Monday because, after all, that's the day off from work. But this day is also important. This is referred to as Labor Sunday. This is the Sunday that we give thanks to God for the gifts of our work, for being able to be employed gainfully. And so as we go about this day and this week, be thankful for what you have and be willing to help others get to the same place that we all share at the table of the Lord.